Alright, so the chat online, if you can just put that you can hear me, I'll give it a thumbs up or yes, please, chat.
Unless it's a change. Oh, yeah, it's like, it's like. Yeah, that metrics. Yeah, that's okay. Something, so I don't. I don't. Oh.
Can you hear me past that?
According to the inside group up there, we are ready to start, so, let's see how we're going. Good morning. We have enough, welcome back to everybody, we haven't met since June. Start by calling the order. We done the minutes from, June. We have changed. No, fancy. Before we get started, I want to introduce, we have, actually 4 new members, 2 of them are here today, welcome them very much. Jonathan Howard, Deb, Brian Kay, Laura Lloyd. Welcome. Appreciate it. Appreciate yourselves and say welcome.
Sure. So I'm John Warner. My it's up the general counsel to share others. So
Morning, everybody. Mark Lloyd, I'm CPA.
Right.
what's this?
Fast. Banker, lawyer, and accountant, you can't beat that. Darren Stevenson is also a new member, but he is out of the country. Be here in the future. I also want to recognize, former members who, I stepped down, Judge Josh Martin, yeah, and Senator Nancy Cook, all 3 of them. Asked Nancy Cook, gosh, served for many years, so it's been an outstanding job. Listen, well. Vice President State. Okay, first on the agenda here today. Bench. Site readiness for opportunity for City of Harry.
Chairman, council members, my name is Brian Beck. This is developing across the bunch. We're getting started. Also going into both of the new members here. Bernie, we have some serious dedication Pardons, got it, better suited. And next also, to have, Chairman Burns about the alcohol governance. So with that, today we have a bit more of Assistant City Manager Harrington. Also has active with current business development of an economic partnership. It's here today, all. It's important, so I'll give it a try. City of Barrington is asking for additional levels of matching funds, $900,000 from the reimbursement of site for activities, including the construction, electric, natural gas, pods, steel pipes and structures, sidewalks, and walls, light poles, ice. Residential site work, short, units, over the 31-acre industrial park, southeast Barrington. Property to manufacturing and industrial park, IMP, aligns with the city of Barrington and King County's comprehensive. First background, the city receives level 2 site ratings by local balance. These funds help complete several key milestones. An environmental study to craft down to survey, levels of mitigation, stormwater management planning, erosion, setback, entrance, pump station design, street design, subdivision of parcels, and selecting smaller parcels to support future development. Traffic impact study, executed necessary easements, as well as having and plans. Since the city's principal 22 residents to develop the capital estimate has directed 5 to 6 million. Because of these increased costs, the city is seeking additional site readiness level 2 batch rate out of $900,000. It's important to note that the city was level 2 site readiness budget. Rate funding changed today. Property inside the Barrington Industrial Park. You can apply for up to 1.9 million national site readiness. The city of Barrington is applied for the difference in its funding system. Working. With that, I would now like to introduce Marlon, city of Barrington.
Thank you, Brian. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, Councilman, having been here. On December 2008, the city acquired a parcel of land from Delaware Economic Development. With the legal commitment to develop the site as an industrial employment center. However, the city's parcel lacks direct access and requires entry to parcels owned by James Properties. To resolve the access issue, coordinate infrastructure development, the city entered into a memorandum of understanding with the properties, James in 2022. The agreement enabled the execution of shared infrastructure necessary for site access and development. In September 2022, the city was awarded $1 million in site readiness fund. To date, $297,262 have been expended on various pre-construction activities, including wetlands remediation, technical services, water and stormwater, land development, sewer pump station design, land surveys, traffic impact study, property subdivision, and property appraisal. The city has proactively engaged all necessary review agencies. DelDOT, July 2022, wetlands and water to the west of November 2022, Kent Conservation District, August 2023, Fire Marshal, September 2023, and plus. Remaining $700,000 in site readiness funding is fully obligated to the construction phase of the project, which includes the installation of access for stormwater infrastructure and remaining site to fulfill the city's obligation for industrial site development. The city has requested an additional $900,000 in site readiness levels funding to support the ongoing development of the industrial park. As mentioned, the initial cost analysis conducted by our engineers in 2022 estimated a total of $5.3 million. However, today's revised analysis should project a cost of $6.3 million. This increase is primarily driven by the need for exchanging stormwater ponds and the rising cost of paving materials since the original estimate. The industrial park is designated to serve as a regional hub for industrial development, job creation, and improved freight mobility in central Dublin. With the approval of the additional $900,000 in site readiness funding and the separate $3.3 million in funding received from congressional delegation, spending administrative center of Blackbird, one project involved. We can confidently confirm that the project will be 100% funded, ensuring a successful completion of future impact in the region. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, turn it back there. You pretty much accounts that may have.
Just quickly, of that, is there any definition as to where all the done so far is done or throughout the whole park?
It's about the whole parcel, so first parcel was to the left, that's Mr. Ryder's, that's what we want the traffic impact study. So that's an environmental study, and it's been done, our first, which is the third parcel, right, and the wetland. Was also on the other side.
Other questions?
I just have a couple. So on the industrial park property, how much is actually gonna be owned by
It's 37 acres,
37 of the total?
100 grand.
So
We have all the things for, stormwater, all of that. Streets.
the other 37
acres.
So 73 acres are owned by these three other companies.
Two. Yes. And wide.
They're gonna have access to all this structure.
Yes.
Their property.
Yes.
Do a grant to help this happen. One of the sites, I thought we granted some money, something. One of the something, I thought from right, you know,
I don't know, site readiness, but
no, it wasn't.
Okay. I, we have to make sure, we have to make sure. It's gonna be- so there's the, that. Fine. That's-
We still on this side? No. So I'm just curious, so. We believe on this. Very same, it's one time, so, right, money in the grant. 4 years.
Yes, yes, and the reason for that is, a lot of the. Started, the. Traffic impact study that took a year and a half, the wetland donation, yeah, so, yeah. So some of the. Work complexity, trying to find out. That's kind of what still need the construction of the property.
Glad that's. But, so I'm just curious, so at present time, we have no entities interested in the site.
We had it get out to us, but we are waiting to install the construction for, sign it.
And 900,000 work there.
Yes.
So I'm just curious, as to why aren't you biting it off in chunks?
Well, our parts, to get to our parts, we have to have the permits and the electric, all that to access our parts. We have no direct access to our.
You're on this, you're far right, so about the far left.
The far left are have, on the property, but to access other parcels. So that's when we come in and sub infrastructure development. To gain access to our system. Now our parcels, we're not.
But I can't even see the gold.
So. Is there a posture going on, obviously, they're saying it's proper for access, but obviously. Construction is some cost sharing, is that the trade off? Access.
Yeah, probably.
So the rationale of buying out by side,
So I understand, I'm construction, it's maybe the track. Or, yeah, but got it, I did. Design, sign, and even. Tech is gonna have plans. Have that. Tributes to the issue. Also thoughts of what you're talking about rationale.
So definitely not my council decision, so my council, we actually have an LOI from that's where all of our 37 acres. And I can't go into much detail about it, interactive, but, the. But back there, the project, that's state one, that one, our property, we have some residential, see across the street. We did just, what, 2 months ago, sign for a purchase, so we are actively working up, just having time to. And I think a couple of people on council had a kind of discussion on what they wanted there, talking about maybe like we're like we're state market to manufacture the trucks.
So yes, that's provided, so by the engineer, there have been site contracts and to. Spit out, all.
We are waiting to get that to the funding things for us to make it out.
Just in my experience. From lots of that. Government has. Just, I'll tell you that a lot of times. You know, has to take off, we actually get it. Sometimes get to that. Trying to use this, you know, also. If you have also.
Sorry, so you can.
Is that part?
I don't know. We, said that, but it's several, discussions, we have industrial parking, and that is expensive.
Well, that's an important question. So honestly, you can just swear in, so you guys can have fun. It's fun.
You mentioned the park, I call it parcel tennis field. What is in it for them other than getting the access to the property? So are they gonna share the lease and all?
We are to have like a, utility here, all the property, the current property, and we talk to the tenants, and they're gonna share the cost of the, sort of, electric.
And they share the revenue to their share the revenue.
Not from our part, but those services, it's not shared.
That's what you said.
Like that.
Like I said, the LMI, you have some candy. They're used to, they're used to the same.
It would be, so our person, so industrial, the other us manufacturing, so we would even just. Or person is manufacturing or Texas and to allow that in the manufacturing or the industrial parts.
So it won't be. City side, and want that specific, let's stop and go on the opposite sense of.
And big,
Yes, so the same, but just pushing next to it.
yes, it is permitted in the other two, parcels by commission. So the city would still want to have to upfront that. For the, in a by commission.
I just, Caroline had said it, council with the council. I want to point out that the feature of this type of grant is that tenants cannot be committed before this grant. So you know, in order to get the straight, site readiness grant, you would not be committed to have tenants already.
That's why it's called site, right? Site, all the thing.
That didn't explain, them, that our life, they're not signing until they're trucking.
Better.
For instance, county wants to say it's over. Right now, it's just the park from a beneficial farm. It's there, but there is some development line. So, there's the access out the woods. Our parcel, little parcel is kind of like an access out 14, it's not the private access to church. So, it's given the second property, access to his parcel right now, but no other direct access to the parcel. So there is some development on there, just going through like conceptual for the next year. Something that the surrounding area got. Not to the right, to the right of our parcel, actually out of town. I don't understand about our investment parkway, being not much. And, so I said, and seeing this manufacturing, that's very cool. Okay, and then I'm just thinking for them to freeze out. I would say. We are actually going to in your part, and so we are going to. So the process of our big tires. Counting size. Okay, and how many that's the first to add. It's a year person. So there's nothing on 10 miles. Because of the bill for us. So I want to down, that's the truck traffic, right? And as far as the process, it's not the job street. That should be. So, I don't know about. I understand. I know actually back in the homestead. Actually, next question, talking about the weapons. I'm assuming on what's involved, having been the weapons. Are clear, and that a lot of. So, I will go back. That's done. And yes, we have to do it. What, it's 2022. Wetlands and waters. And see, don't. No, it's like, coordination, that's our board. I really love it, but. Thank you, thank you.
Any other question? A grant received from, Senator Russia. They're reimbursing you for spending it back.
We do not know yet, you have to actually, the application, website or okay, which they require as part of the sentence, that's probably all the time. So our justice, actually today, the meeting, they're environmental studies, and then we'll be able to submit our final application for us to get. I'm hoping it's not reimbursement, but they're not gonna get last round. We spent money, gas rates expensive, and there are no findings, but,
And my final question, council, we, now come back to get, right? I'm all about the, rather than the parts of it all. Is there any concern that, great portion of this project actually benefits in private land? Still in concert, what we agreed to do, I think what we agreed to do is allow municipalities to come back and get more money, but private development not allowed. You're comfortable, it's okay by the change.
So the change of procedure allows both public and private, the private has an extensive part, right? So in the event for private, for example, let's say it wasn't, there's properties that were passed, let's say, another development for this factor. So in this instance, it's not too much of a difference because of that. So
Just want to make sure.
yes.
Just a couple of last questions. From your report, you said, sounds like the last thing you've done on this is done on October 2023. This is all intake number once. And reason why you haven't done anything.
Waiting, the wetlands and traffic impact study and environment, so.
Nothing else. Second back to the Senator's, funding for this year's appropriation bill or for last, for
2020.
2024.
Yeah.
It's very. County. Seems these processes we've been. You tell them what you want the money to do, and they approve that and build it, money you spend it, but you gotta be approved one step at a time, just that comes $3 million in fund. Processing is hard, and a lot of changing faces now. By the time you've got some system set up, with somebody who understands the project and whatever you put it there, but it's the same project, all of a sudden, oh, I don't know much about that, well, then maybe facing even area, that changes too. So, you gotta stay on top of that. Yeah. Other questions or comments?
I would suggest him. So. Business too. Yeah, I had. Engineering estimates. Permanently, that's what's cheap, so. Inflation, actually, about 22%, that's 5 years, construction costs. Of this. So, just to get that standard. So, I think your the city is, wow, it's, or, things.
And now we actually. Here's, that's why, that's $100. First, festival. And I know our engineer has been active working with the engineers that develop the district on the different and the places it's just, structure, that's right as well.
Questions, CJ, actually, one thought, but the point, as they're going down the money, that they're going to come back. What? I have to call. Supposed to be. Back to the road. See, sleep guard, so. See, possibly. Yeah, I don't want to guarantee anything. Just be you're in. But you know, as always, as I'm always told the applicant, as much documentation as possible, to show your applicant, but maybe get something close. Learns of concerns. On this position. So. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a question. So if you're on the money, what is your timeline? And I guess that kind of draws me back to the wetlands and as you already explained from 2022, the permitting process can be really, and a lot of city federal administration things have changed. So our report is not necessarily as staff as it used to be. I think we talked about Dell died, already had the traffic study done, correct?
Yes.
So what is your timeline? This and from the time that say yes, we throw down to get it installed.
So we feel confident that we Up in next 2 months and came to break down this spring. We are pushing for 12 months construction phase. We talked to them, so 18 months. So what? Have, some years. Since 24 months, you know. That we're good for 12 months construction, so it's 18 months. But, construction. Well, I think we talked about that. Big 118.
Right, okay, so somewhere around 2027, and at what point can they start? But start signing this.
It's a great question. I think the prohibition against having committed tenants, is contingent upon the site readiness grant is contingent upon that. I don't believe that once the grant is approved by the council, once the contract is negotiated, and signed, that prohibition lasts any longer. So as far as I know, once it's all grant and then the contract is signed, they have tenants commit from that point on.
Question, council, so, are they, I understand, can't sign up. I do too, thank you.
I think they
Understanding.
potential tenant.
Yeah.
If the MOU, a letter of intent is what is most comfortable. Yes, yeah, but, yeah, depends on what the MOU says, but yes, they can't have any signed contracts with the tenant and with the occupant building, but that's until, if assuming if you all approve it today, then we negotiate and sign the contract for the next month or two, from that point on, they can have a signed contract with the tenant.
One last question, it's pretty obvious, just want to make sure. You have complete support from the private city council, and you have any neighborhoods or any other sort of fighting this?
Now, for our council, we actually started the robbery, or just from last week, so the congressional delegation to up to that, very well within it. Lots of process, large public hearings, and, we have to see any public comments, must be signed. I do not know, definitely. And we do have a very, buffer. What it said,
Make trap, still probably have 13, so the trucks out. Yeah, but. So. Yeah, so this house is all. What's that?
I talk about the rail. That's the
Yeah.
rail. That's great.
So 1.9 is like that. That's.
Is that an act?
Yeah, so our. So there is potential, whoever gets our rights, or it's our site, that will have right access.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Thank you. Can I get a move? So moved. Second? Second. The move and second, comments from the public?
Inspection. Engineering, this project here, right now, this it's practice, I think. Said by supporting chief, it's ready, it's basically.
Josh.
Thank you. Other questions? Yes, ma'am. This is-
May, my name is Bill Wall, so it's two questions. Number one, subcontracting for this project, is there any decisions gonna be made, judgments, vacancies, or minority owned businesses to have priority in contracting? And also, it's gonna be a lot of low paying jobs. And there's being made in the area for workforce housing, affordable housing. I know inheritance, but everything being built down there, so that's about on.
Ask the questions.
Where's my copy?
Yeah, no, I understand. I just wanted to let you know if you would like to ask the questions today. That's it.
Did you want to comment on that, brother?
Would you like, are you comfortable asking the questions?
I'm just, would you,
Seven. Yes, you are comfortable asking the questions.
I am, and simply because, the representative and I were just sitting here asking the same question, so thanks so much, Joe. Development of all of this, some development companies, will consist of beds, minority, anything that also set this out different than the, site readiness.
We haven't got that far discussion, but I expect you want to start double check.
Yeah, that's what we love here. Especially want to make sure that we're going, so all of the Delawareans.
other questions? Comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. What? On the agenda, it's the small business. Best fund.
I was talking about that, members, I know in the past, we usually do a pretty cut and dry authorization of grant. This is our flagship program that allows us to heavily invest in the startups. I just wanted to show you some of the changes and then request the reauthorization of this budget. So extra point quite frankly, is to invest in the best of the best of our state, right? Really want to create pathways for new, high impact companies to grow and scale in the state of Delaware, right? We already are the incorporation capital of the world. Also want to scale it. Just made that up, but we're gonna go with it. Next slide. How do I? My turn. So we go to the next slide for me then. All right, so what's remaining the same? We're still gonna have an entrepreneur and a STEM category, right? 3-to-1 match is still required. Can't just show up and ask us for $500,000 and not be able to provide a third of that with your own private funding. So you see the example right there, the $500,000, be able to demonstrate and improve that you have a third of that in private funding. So businesses less than 7 years are eligible to apply, and this is for our newer companies in the state of Delaware, right? Majority of the staff has to be located in Delaware, so this goes back to the question, or a little bit to that question about really want to make sure that these companies demonstrate an investment in Delawareans and also their work, make sure that their work is located in the state of Delaware. Bonus points for women, minority, veteran-owned businesses, as well as businesses located in opportunities.
What's the max you can apply?
The max they can apply for, but we have changed up a little bit. 700,000 in the STEM category, and then 400,000 in the entrepreneurship category, and that's a winner take all. It's highly unlikely, but you can apply. You just have to have a third of that.
You're trying to say. Every time we have an increase, 700,000 available for that particular session.
Yes.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
20
rare if one would be one in November, but
Yes.
that's the approval.
Now-
That's
now
the approval pot, not everybody can apply for something.
Precise. You just have to have, if you apply for 750,000, you just have to put it sitting somewhere in an account, but you should, can't, but don't waste everybody's time.
Used to be 50,000, 19,000.
Yep.
You say stepped up. to it.
Yeah. Next slide.
Sit with Jordan staff. We have done so much bullshit.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean to JJ to answer that. What we're looking for is to be able to show that tax is coming together. Right, so you can be a company, but there's tax that explain that.
I'd say tax is something. That working on that, my perspective is there's so much that coding, offshore perspective, also. And achievement, W2 is all the tech companies, or else it's something I can think about. And all we have W2 workers, not all flexible.
Thank you. All right, so eligibility, this has increased a little bit. So before it was 10 full-time employees, we increased that to 15. Again, realize part-time workers forever to part-time, to 1 full-time. And business must have fewer than 700K in their assets. Before this was 500K. So again, increasing the eligibility, thinking about some of the feedback we've heard from applicants and awardees in the past, and doing our best to make sure that investing in companies that have their business scale.
And that's that campaign.
All right, so new online submission process, going back to the governor's EO of making things more efficient, more transparent, and more accessible to Delawareans. Before we had much a printed out, scan, very manual, way of doing things. Yeah, now moving to the modern century. And it's a new online submission. Those submissions outside of our online portal, they can throw it in the trash. We have invested in Salesforce significantly to do this. Going to the governor's industries of interest, there are also additional points. So, right, again, looking at ways we can help companies scale and the industries that we're looking to invest in. As mentioned a little earlier, we now have no set number of equipment, right? There's no $5,000 and $50,000 and $500,000. It's more of a dynamic model. So we're allowing our judges, right, who are experts in the state of Delaware, to really be empowered to give companies the funding that they need. So let's say you have 5 companies come to the pitch competition, and 2 of them score in the 90s and 3 of them score in the 70s. You're not guaranteed to get funded just because you hit that number, right? You really want to invest in companies that can show a quick ROI and also sustainability. So that's kind of where we're getting from this fixed number of winners to a more dynamic model. Up to 10 entrepreneur finalists, up to 8 STEM finalists will be selected. And we've also doubled the amount of pitch time. So before it was approximately a week and a half, now it's 3 weeks. Again, the more opportunity, the more eyes we can put on you, the better. So our pitch competition, as you'll see in the next slide, is open to the public. It will have a much bigger field. It will look similar to a stage experience that you've seen at 43 North, for example. It's an accelerated program in Buffalo that awards $1 million to 4 awards. Next slide. Again, up to 400,000 is available for the entrepreneurship category. Up to $750,000 is available for the STEM category. So as you can see, the increases in funding on a per cycle or per round basis. Finalists and awardees now will receive some sort of in-kind services. So before it was just awardees, you got your check, kind of did your thing, follow up as needed. Now we want to invest in not only the awardees, but the finalists as well. So you'll get in-kind scoping services as well as other things or needs identified. So bookkeeping, marketing services, so on will be available to all finalists, right? So again, taking this chance to really invest in companies and using Edge as a way to show here is the Delaware is best and the best. Here's what we're looking to invest in, and here's what we're looking for others to invest in them as well. EDGE finalists will be eligible for expedited review for other state funded programs. So our SSBCI program, our Race to 15 Million, as well as the strategic fund, right? The reason why they're able to receive expedited review, because you're going through a heavily vetted process with EDGE. Our last cycle, we had 139 applicants, only 10 awardees. We're anticipating 150 plus applicants this year, but again, there's no set number of awardees. So we're getting vetted through the commission. You're also going to be receiving in-kind services that gives an assessment of the company, right? So green, yellow, red. Green, you're doing things well. Yellow, areas that you might want to improve. Red will be areas that need, right? So all of those things put together allows us to know that these companies have their current assessment, know that these companies are built to scale, and therefore can jump the line when we are running close to limited funds and SSBCI.
CJ, with regard to the are you adding staff?
Oh, yes.
Nothing to do.
Yeah,
But
yes.
now you're part.
Yes, I love to give my team more. So we are actually going to contract that out. Yes, this will not be something that we do in-house. I'm a big believer in, there's a lot of resource partners in the state of Delaware that the division will partner with, and we will have those helping with this process. Yes, yes. Yep. Yep, there's some other stuff that we're gonna do that's not a dollar amount, I would say, thinking about utilization rate or the diversity spend rate of the state of Delaware. How can we put some of these companies that offer services that the state of Delaware might want in front of security? So we'll do a lot of like informal things. Well, it's really gonna be, hey, you get to the finalists and the state of Delaware doesn't leave have a good competition. We stay with for a significant period of time. Like our goal is to help 100 companies, to hire 100 companies. So you can't do that by just going one-off.
Do you, is there an opportunity for somebody who doesn't make the finalists, reapply?
Oh, yeah, most of our EDGE awardees are multiple, they apply multiple times, sometimes 2, I think up to 4 or 5. As long as you don't win, you win, you can't come back, but you can apply pretty much as many times as you want. And with some of the changes that we made, even adding an additional webinar, different things like that, our RBMs as well, that gives them really that feedback that they need. So whether you win the first time, you can come back again the second or third. We also changed where before it was project based, whether the STEM or the entrepreneur category. So let's say your coffee shop, you made some brand state of the art equipment, you would apply to STEM. We're no longer going on whatever your industry is, where you're going to go. That avoids some of the misdirection and frustration that applicants have had in the past. Of, hey, I was told this category this year, so we've increased, entrepreneurs in particular. That's a more quantity based category with studies.
Then,
Yeah, CJ, is there fallback language in there, or what is that?
Yes, so they have yearly reporting, I want to say up to 5 years. And they have to spend the funds on the stuff that is stated in their application.
So they have 1 year to spend the funds in which they indicated, and then we follow up with them after that. Make sure if it's like that documentation, to make sure they spend the end of.
I'll also add that there are even more drastic fallback provisions that require or allow for us to fall back, but say there's substantial cessation of business in the state. If it's other than the spending the money, don't appear to the contract itself, but really any breach of the EDGE agreement by the awardee allows for us to fall back the money.
Project. So now, what sort of things are applying? It's not like can they say want to hire?
Oh, so
employees and
It's still, they still have, you'll see in the next slide, I'm sorry, they still have expenses that are eligible and ineligible.
Yeah.
In terms of what I meant by project basis, if I'm Secret's coffee shop, I can't dance around to STEM because I'm building or creating some sort of art equipment that would fit STEM.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay in entrepreneurship. Before, I used to play around with it.
Okay.
That's a little. Your next one, just the higher one.
Yes, yes, that is staying, that is
The
staying.
one I remember, super, the sign company down in Silver Town. Super, you only had one truck, to get around, had all these contracts, you apply for money for these. Truck, when I paid for it up, they got it, now they're stuff. So that's so basic. Pretty like, that's a general.
So pitch deck, like I mentioned, this will be between October 30th. It will be open to the public. There will be no more pitching to like basically pitching to you will pitch to judges, pitching to entrepreneurship class students at a high school. We're also be partnering with the ESU. This will be something that you're proud of, right? You show up, the more eyes, the more opportunities. That's how any entrepreneur or founder should think of the company. But we want to make sure that we put this in a grand scale to ensure that you have as much opportunity as possible. And now we're changing it up where the judges have a lot more say in how this looks, right? So part of your score will be based on how. If you can sell it to us, and sell it to a room of 100+ people, I'm pretty sure that can sell this to hit. That's my hope. That's my hope.
So, I hear what you're saying. I'm, not. As some, like, right. And I thought, instead, some scientific, so all instead that. I need to prepare. Is that Michael process one still? That, proprietary, information. I've got a proprietary product, scientific technique. I'm not going to have but that's what you're talking about. I didn't hear people talk about editors. So, like, straight to that phone with that. But it's also a question, right? I need to walk that.
Yeah, it's a tricky line of work, thanks for the question. And it will be approached similar to how we do the strategic fund or how we come here, like there are certain things that you don't put in an application to, competitive reasons. That'll be explained to the company well in advance, right? So besides, we're coming up for public dollars. So everything can't be private, right? So anything that you want to showcase, you state that. If you don't want to showcase, like we should have that conversation. But so it's something that it's not a crystal ball that we can, kind of address in a one size fits all. But it's something that'll be explained to companies prior to them doing this, prior to going on stage and like this is a publicly funded program. This is a publicly open competition. So do want these funds, right? This is a part of that situation. And if you don't, we also have other programs like SSBCI, the Accelerators Capital Program. You don't have to come out with much more traditional process. Like we have proprietary information, we also have investment committee.
CJ, yeah, first, because I don't think have this partnerships and, downstate. Very bad. Great. Buying some parts to help. So that it's not.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
I'm scoring 10, and no matter what, if you ask me, I'm scoring 10 on everything, just so there, so that everything. But for a judge that honestly, especially with this type of thing that we're talking about, I think we'll get some type of guidelines to be. So that set up, and the judges today have any type of training process that we're gonna go through?
Yes, so to answer both, yes. Judges are picked based on their industry of expertise, right? So you think of people like Dan Freeman at UD, right? You can think of people like Bill Provana in the education space. I'm very familiar with this kind of activity, particular pitch conversation. We'll have a criteria for the judges. We'll make sure that's public, right? People can go in, they really upset, get whatever beats, nothing new. But judges will have scoring sheets that they have to submit to us. We'll pretty much average them out. Everybody's like on scoring set. Might feel like company A deserves 500,000, and John might say company A deserves $5. Like it just depends, right? The scoring criteria helps us justify the number of what somebody gets, right? So might have 3 companies that score in the 90s, they're probably going to get majority of the share of that 25. And that's how we justify it by having not just the criteria of, hey, I want to give this company X amount. You also have a scoring criteria that they have to fill out as well.
Achievement, excuse me, judge, I'm saying, keep it 50,000. But
No, they are putting an amount listed, but everybody's amount will be different, so we'll average it out.
And then I probably should have listened to this, but where do we find the most of our what's the business sense the management stream?
So people are coming from everywhere in the state. Factor that in. It's not to say that like, hey, we don't get one Sussex County applicant, we're going to force it, won't do that. But we do keep that in mind, we track that. I can get those numbers to you in terms of percentage wise, which one comes from the county. In terms of industry, that's definitely going to be a lot more broad. Just a lot of commercial categories fit everybody. It's basically STEM and non-STEM. That's probably the way that you should look at this. I can say that a lot of awardees have received SPDC help, right? That's a percent funding of ours. A good amount, I won't say all, but some come from innovation space as well as STEM. So they're coming from places that we feel like are legit partners. But an industry breakdown, I would have to get back to you on that.
I would just be interested in just some fact what's the next 5 to be so in out there.
Yep. Yeah. So we're hoping, right? We don't want to skew it too much, but those additional points, like you're only getting 100 points. So those additional 5, you are, let's say you're a minority owned business, you're in an opportunity zone, and you're in tech. That's actually 15 points that you didn't really have to do anything for. So we're hopeful that helps skew some of where the governor would like to invest, in. That's why we put that category there, but not to the point where it only allows things, right? With other companies that will put that bucket that have a high ROI and are also showing high signs of sustainability. And those are the companies that top.
Thank you.
I think if we haven't had, I know, fine, maybe, session. Somebody important to have. That just, yes. What's going on state. One I remember very well, I was judging. It's all to get that food. But I remember one lady, I think had a food truck and she gave money to. As it turned out, all the property she wanted, and but I don't know what happened. I don't know whether she placed, we got our money back, or they give it to her, she got the things that can happen, and so especially the small thing. What's in banking world, small business success rate is what about 90%? No, it'd be the other way around. It's pretty tough. We got to stay on. Just you may give them money. It's like
we are in the process of starting, where are they now, kind of thing, right? We give out a lot of funds, you know, but people don't speak after that, outside of press release. Right, we just started doing like big check, like band, big, but we're gonna start doing that, so the way that we're envisioning that is, you know, it's very similar to my experience at Delaware, right? We have 1035, 1026, and 40, so then we'll start to get updates, you know, where they are, right? So we'll, again, of course, come here, get the location for the companies that won, but then here they will also kind of show you, yeah, where they are, you know. So that is a pipeline. So that's it. I will address some of it. So yes, I just want to ask for reauthorization of the managed grant program. This comes from our Small Business Financial Development Fund. Governor had allocated millions to the program, which so still have a fall in this fund. Yep, so we still have both. But this improvements or enhancements that you just saw are affecting all edge as well as.
Other questions?
Yep.
Governor's ordered, I'm not sure what to do.
You can't spend any money unless you vote. So, oh, that was great.
So, you know, you don't want me to write a press release saying, hey, psych, I was just playing.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All, any comments from the public? No?
All veteran services, I mean, I like the program, I've been at the first governor, I think, you know. Very expensive. Great. The only time I got the Bob program, maps, very fun. Especially to start off. $50, say $50, it seems like a lot of money. But in fact, the you gotta wait that 6 months to get the money. You gotta put stuff on hold. I'm running into that Bob grant, or it's taking so long. Then sort of pretty much money. So it, you have small business like food truck that's one buy industrial oven, something like that. You have to wait 6 months. Why? That's going up. Really, I think time frames short and one available really should increase.
Startups only need and have to be something.
Yes. You have to, 7 years ago.
Yeah, but younger want that.
Oh, yeah, you can actually apply as early as you have your LLC, DIO, like, you can.
I mean, they want.
As the initial vetting, so obviously you can see. You
Yeah.
really get it.
Yeah, so you probably won't get more like outside of some pretty solid perfection, and what kind of company or service you're doing. With this finance team looks at it, looks at it, and then from there you have, our external panels. So it's highly vetted for sure. You're not gonna, as I tell people all the time, sometimes you can have a great company, but you're going up with something. It's happening, right? Like you are, I hate that you're a coffee shop, right? It's a coffee shop there. Going back to the percentage, you don't want to have innovation of something of one particular thing. So we're also juggling how do we invest in things that are that niche areas, how do we invest in things that are younger than so that's why we put some of these little things to help solve that. I don't think we have an actual complete like 100%, like this is perfect. It still improves now with the answer was to go or whatever it is. It's always room for improvement, but we're hoping that some of these changes without doing too much of blowing up the program and starting over, should.
Question. Are you active trying to get into groups that maybe aren't as well, like there are people who just know about this programs because they're connected. They have people out for them. There are several people who don't know
Yeah.
about things like this.
Yeah, so I can tell you that although our minority business, like the minority is over half, like since Ezra started, I'm not happy with like our Spanish speaking. I'm not happy with our census count. So we put a little bit more advertisement and attention, right? So Canton Census now have like, we kind of picture, that's led by, Gemini and Anastasia, going to the library, so, hey, it's the public library, so we'll show where you are. So we're hoping that those efforts help. If they don't, we'll double down. We'll double for the spring, but that is something that we get to address. Yeah.
Since we have you, that radio value, that you all in support, big fans application, that's them on it. So,
Yeah.
then even public awareness out.
You'll see me doing cartwheels on social media talking about it. Like whatever we gotta do, like
I think would be coming on, got to work back for the source, a lot of this. Okay, a motion, any comments, all in favor? Aye. Okay. I don't think we have to leave open session, but we want to talk about other matters.
yes, so have you follow items that Senator Core had brought up, our site readiness, pretty much like a comprehensive assessment of it. So I have the awardee and the drawdown amounts, but I'm not happy with that being a comprehensive assessment. So what I would like to do is partner with BPP, knows a lot of our site readiness employees, and get a much more detailed breakdown of, where they are, how much of that site is stuck, percentage wise, right? Which also can complement what we have in terms of our finance team. So that'll get a chance to show you, what has happened, basically rather than kind of from some of our past recipients and what the school doing that for other categories that address. So I would like to bring that to you in September. Our September CPF, and I will send that to you along with the material.
And CJ, I was also wondering, how many other applicants from past are eligible for revised expansion?
Oh, yeah, we have that pretty much, like, he has already, factored that in, so I can send that to you, and exactly to that.
What kind of order is that? Ourselves, but I'd love to see some of the financials on projects and see how they have private debts, how operating. Long term. But
I can work on that. I can't say I can get all the way by September, but what I can have by September is the original amount that they reported, how much it has gone down, how much that site was leased, and then some other factors. Hopefully I can create some sort of heat map to kind of show you all what we have put in that like $50. But I know that's been mentioned today, going back to the 10 and 12 mile average. So I can have that. Then in terms of the financials, I can reach back out. I'm sure there'll probably be some legal support out to the books. But I can try to have that.
Site readiness, I think, how soon was raised in this, not used to. More things, and there are a lot of reasons why, what, 2 years later, they haven't spent some. We're not used to that. Find out everybody got it full, so. Not a problem. Yeah.
It's not familiar. Is there a restriction on what money goes? Like can they invest in it? It's just say like a savings account. Oh, they don't get it.
They don't get it, they.
Oh, it's reimbursed.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy to send, for the members, template agreements, available, most part, of the same, having said, they were fun, granted, you all seeing what they look like.
So since we're talking about. Lines, side, side. How? And our. Some of them. Somewhere along the line, somebody was quite. They have those. We get.
So I've always seen businesses that have failed to comply with their contracts since I've been here in my role for about 2 years. I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if anyone has successfully been brought back, but I can tell you that I have filed against them for complaints, the court of pleas and superior court to all judgments for those. It's money that I like to never see, but for its accounting purposes, the IRS will come with the say, but so good. Yeah. But I'm happy to request the post. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
Not first.
Oh, it's like-
Yeah.
Whatever, have questions about procedure?
Yeah, this one.
Following me, like, sit down. Well. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. Oh, when's the next meeting? 29 hours.
2018, July,
CJ, we plan on being here.
I would say,